Hello and welcome. My name is Adrena. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Adrena. We are a Los Angeles-based virtual bookkeeping firm, and I am so excited that you are here today. If you haven't subscribed to my newsletter yet, please do so with the link down in the description box. I would love to have you, and I send out weekly reminders of my YouTube videos that are coming out, as well as monthly emails with a little freebie attached to it to make sure that you are set for the month ahead. All right, let's get into today's video because today's video is one of its kind. It's actually the first time I've ever recorded a video like this, and I just thought it would be fun to go through a few things that don't make sense to me in QuickBooks Online, because honestly, I could probably rant about a couple of things for QuickBooks, and this is one of those ranty videos, but I just thought I would bring a different perspective because I think a lot of my channel is, this is what you do in QuickBooks and this is how you do it, and kind of like my advice and things like that. And I just feel like sometimes QuickBooks tries to be intuitive and they try to like be one step ahead of you, but sometimes that one step ahead of you is actually pretty annoying. So stick around, let's get right into it. One of the things I like about QuickBooks is that it is always trying to improve and change. If you just even notice this left-hand navigation, it has changed significantly from when I first started doing QuickBooks videos. And one of the things that doesn't make sense to me is, well, actually this navigation here where it says transactions and then bank transactions. Before it was just bank transactions and it was really easy to identify and navigate to. And now you kind of have to go through this second step. Another thing here is that the chart of accounts is here rather than like in an accounting, tab, so to speak. So that's kind of one thing that doesn't really like mesh well with my brain. If you click on transactions right here and go to bank transactions, then you do see like these separate tabs up ahead that say, app transactions, receipts, etc. And I forgot to mention we're using this is like the sandbox version of QuickBooks. So it's QuickBooks Test Drive version. So when you go to each of these tabs, then it's like a whole new screen, right? Which is fine. These are fine things to do. If you wanted to upload receipts, you can do that here, which is really nice. One of the things that kind of confuses me here is if I were to be on the chart of accounts tab, looking at something, okay, let's say we wanted to look at the prepaid expenses. There's this, and then, oh, there's nothing in here. Bad example. Okay, so let's say we wanted to look at accounts receivable, and we click in here. We want to see like all of the transactions related to this guy. There we go. And I wanted to see like who created this transaction. So I click on more and go to audit history. This thing just doesn't make sense to me, and it hasn't made sense to me in however long I've done this. Okay, so you can see the audit history here, and it kind of tells you like what was changed from previously. There was nothing changed. It was just this is the initial entry. But then I have no other navigation to go back to. So like I can go back here, so that's clickable. I can go back to the invoice, but if I click on this X here, it's going to take me back to the audit history instead of taking me back to the register or even to the chart of accounts. So if I wanted to go back to where I started, I'd have to start all over again and go to transactions, chart of accounts, accounts receivable, and then I'm back to where I wanted to go, which is like the most confusing thing for me. It's just like, okay, why can't I just have a link going back to the AR register? That is one of the things that's really confusing to me and doesn't just make sense. Another thing I noticed is when you are creating like a new entry, let's just pick like the journal entry, for example. And I wanted to see, previous journal entries just so I can compare, or if I needed to even copy it. You can always select a previous journal entry, you can make a copy this way, and then you can edit this, right? But if I wanted to look at something that was beyond the three that are listed here, you can click on View More, and obviously you can continue on, and then you would get a history of the journal entry transactions. I mean, you can actually look at this for a bunch of other different things, just whatever date range, contact amount, etc. But if I wanted to like look at this invoice, for example, I can look at this, I can also copy it, I can edit, make a new one, whatever I wanted to do. But then it comes back to this screen. Like, I can't go back to the original, like, open journal entry that I was looking at. I'd have to start all over again. So I'd have to click on plus new journal entry, and then I'm back on a blank journal entry screen. And you're just kind of, and you're ending up in like this loop of like, I don't know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There should be a button here where you can go back to the journal entry screen, like as just a blank journal entry screen. This also happens with anything else that you're looking at on the plus new sign. So like, the sales receipt or invoice, the navigation kind of just doesn't make sense. Like, it's not really intuitive in how we do our work. It's like, it just kind of leaves you hanging here. You're just like, okay, well, I really wanted to make a new journal entry. So then you'd have to go back to the start and then look at the most recent one. And then you'd have to start all over again, more copy, and then do whatever else that you need to do. So even though I still use and love QuickBooks Online on a day-to-day basis, do they have more that they can do in terms of, improving their software to make it more intuitive? Yes, they definitely have plenty of room to make it more intuitive. Some of these things too just doesn't make a lot of sense. I think for this homepage, I feel like they're really trying to, if you were here, like 30 years ago using QuickBooks Desktop, I feel like this is what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to recreate kind of like the homepage to look a little bit like how QuickBooks Desktop looked when they first started it. And it's like, okay, well, none of this is actually really helpful for the small business owner. Maybe some of these links could be helpful. I mean, obviously you can edit this home screen, but more often than not, I'm going to start on the bank transactions screen, versus looking at this home screen. It just, it doesn't really land for me. So yeah, so there's my 2 cents. If you have anything that is kind of confusing, that doesn't make sense on QuickBooks Online, do feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you think of this video. If you like kind of ranty type videos like this, also give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.